Hello, my name is Cindy Cardall, and I am a technology integration coach at Chadwick International School in South Korea.
My name is Diana Suk, and I teach grade 2.
My name is Alyssa Smith, and I teach 3rd grade.
This year, I have worked with both Alyssa and Diana through coaching cycles. Both of them chose to help students use technology to develop agency in their classrooms. This doesn't mean their classrooms looked the same or even went through the same process.
I found that I would often tell students what they were learning and how they were going to do their learning, but I wanted to promote student agency.
I have reflected and I noticed that I've been doing almost all of the heavy lifting for them when it came to decision making around how they would learn and what they would spend their time on.
In my previous schools, I worked as a classroom teacher and my goal was to focus on student agency. My students were setting goals and we went through a lot of trial and error. Every class is different and has different needs. Because of my experiences with this, I had some strategies in my back pocket to suggest to Alyssa and Diana. The strategies they chose were adapted to suit the needs of the students in front of us.
How do I prepare my students so I can actually release them and let them go and make decisions about how they might want to work towards their goals? So in came the learner modalities. These are different ways people or students could go about learning. We taught those learner modalities through a bit of an exploration as learners kind of discovered which modalities might be their preferences, which seemed to work well and which didn't work quite as well. And then in their own goals across subject areas, they could use these modalities as ways, as avenues towards reaching their goals.
The first day of the week, the students can see the goals based off of the standards that need to be addressed in our unit and set goals for what they will try to accomplish for the upcoming week. Then students can also see the different activities at each of the stations and choose what they would like to focus on. They also have a station where they can confer with the teacher and possibly receive additional support.
Every 8 days, I would meet with Alyssa and Diana separately and come into their classes to collect data by interviewing students about what was going well. We made changes based on these interviews.
I decided to use a Padlet, and we just made different columns for the different goals they were working towards. We decided to have create a color coding system. Red, meaning I haven't started working on this goal yet. Yellow, I'm on my way. And green, I think I've achieved it. And perhaps there would be the reflections along the way as the comments and evidence.
Goal setting in my Padlet has been helpful because I can revisit.
Goal setting has trained me my self-managing by being a risk taker.
I am more responsible now, and I feel like I can do more things.
My students already had a lot of exposure to measuring their level of understanding with their music teacher, Levi Allison. As a class, we talked about what each of these categories would look, feel, and sound like, and how we can prove their reasons from their work. At the end of each lesson, students had the time to document what they did at their station that day and where they felt they were at in their understanding. It was amazing to see their actual level of understanding through their documentations.
In my meetings with Alyssa and Diana, we would reflect and decide on how we could move forward, always reacting to student needs based on the interviews and what we were noticing in the classrooms.
We decided to bring in the action cycle to really make it clear to the students that this is a cycle, it's ongoing. And then we named the steps. We called it the act, right? Step 1 is really act 1. Step 2 is act 2. What action might you take? And once you've taken it, go ahead and change the color coding in the Padlet. Now you decide, what next? Where am I going?
Students compiled a list of what tasks needed to be done in order to complete their virtual game. With the list of tasks, the students placed these items in their calendar and plan out their journey to complete their formative project. Then students created stations they felt that were needed for the class.
My coaching cycles with Alyssa and Diana have ended, but the inquiries don't stop there.
Designing a way for students to choose and set goals for their learning has really been so eye-opening because these kids can do it, even in the younger grades. Of course, the teacher's role is vital to help these students see the direction and potential they can go, but they are able to take more ownership of their learning and of the process.
I think one of the most important parts of trying anything new in the classroom is really paying attention to your learners. What do they think? What do they like? What's not working? What is? Where is there space for us to really truly release so they feel like they can own that learning and take themselves way farther than we would have had we prescribed every step they would take.